Welcome to the Fever Report. John Robertson's and Michelle Garmon's reaction to the Fever's 80-68 loss in Atlanta in Game 1 of the WNBA Playoffs. Sorry there's no music or fanfare. I'm still trying to figure all that out, but once I do, I promise it's going to be very cool. Also, we will be back on Tuesday night with a recap of Game 2. Please join us for that one. Straight to the podcast. Welcome, Fever fans and WNBA fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for our Fever Dream reaction in the first round of the WNBA Playoffs. Dream 80, Fever 68 in Game 1 of their quarterfinal. I am joined on Riverside by our Fever guy, John Robertson, and Tipton Tribune and Elwood call leader, sports editor Michelle Garmon, who asked me not to call it the Fever Dream, but as John knows, I've been saying it from the start. It's one of my favorite games of the year. It's the Fever Dream. It did not turn out well. We kind of predicted a Fever win tonight, and it did not go well.
The game started out pretty okay, honestly. Like the first, I would say the first quarter, Fever did great. Second quarter started to drop off. Third quarter, not good, not great. Fourth quarter, bad. The people are going to complain about the officiating. Officiating is definitely a problem, but I don't think it's the biggest story to talk about. I just think that today's game demonstrated the biggest problem the Fever are going to have in the playoffs, which is lack of depth. The girls get winded. You can't play that many minutes and your legs get tired. They can't hang to the end, and it's stressful, or it's frustrating for them, I'm sure, just as much as us as fans. All the injuries have caught up to them. Odyssey Sims had to sit out for a minute because she got the way she landed was funny on her knee, and her knee kind of buckled. They can't handle. It's just going to be too tough with the lack of depth, I guess, is the easiest way to say it.
Definitely not going to survive a 3-for-9 night from Aaliyah Boston.
No. She wasn't shooting well necessarily. She started the game really well, but then it just got tough on her inside.
Atlanta's good inside. Foul calls did not help. She had to sit on. She was in foul trouble, so it changes the way you play. You can't necessarily go as aggressively on the offensive glass when you're battling foul trouble, and got to be careful even on the defensive end. It was ridiculous. Stephanie White had to use. I'm not going to blame the officiating for a loss because I don't like to do that, but I think this was one of the worst officiated WNBA games I have ever seen. Stephanie White had to waste 2 challenges to challenge calls where the whistle should have never been blown. It was obvious there was no fouls, and then that hurt her in the second half. And then it was just not good. I saw somebody that charts at WNBA thing and was talking about how they thought that was one of the worst officiated games overall. And they weren't saying by team, but they said like, I forget how many missed calls or wrong calls and then some missed calls. But I just thought they let it get I thought they let it get out of hand. And the WNBA needs to take a good look again, because you cannot play in an arena that sells out with over 3,000 fans when it's still kind of hot and humid out there, because that floor, it got slippery. I'll tell you what, Kelsey Mitchell slipped a couple times, and I was scared because I was there going, she goes down with an injury because of the humidity on that floor. WNBA's got to do better from the top down, but we've been saying that. So other than that, I thought the Fever, I liked the way they didn't necessarily shoot well, but I just like the way they just continue to play hard. And you're right, John. That lack of depth is just wearing them down.
Yeah, and to your point, like we said, Odyssey Sims did go down because it's so. I don't know. I feel like they can't hang with the lack of, because how many do we really have? We got our starting 5, and then 3 or 4 that we can count on.
Kinda.
So
count on.
So you're asking extended minutes in the playoffs after the season from Kelsey and Aaliyah and Odyssey and Lexi and Natasha Howard, right? They've got to play extra minutes. And like you said, when they get in foul trouble, it just makes it even harder. And Timpson's going to be great eventually. I really like her as a talent, but she's not ready yet. And we can't depend on her to get big minutes in the playoffs. So It's just gonna be tough. I'd like to see them get a W in Indianapolis, but I don't know. I just don't know if they can go the distance. Like I think they can hold their own early in a game, but then they're just going to be winded.
Tuesday night at 7:30. By the way, everyone, games on ESPN, games at the Fieldhouse. Get there. Let's have a sold out crowd. But it's not looking good.
No. I was going to say playing at home Tuesday is probably maybe if the crowd shows up and they bring energy, that might help the Fever be able to pull that out. But, I would love to see him win. And I know said they could, picked him in 3, but after, I don't know that they can do it. I don't know that they can beat the Dream in 3. I do think they can win Tuesday, especially if there is some energy in that building.
I think there's potential, but I think they're going to have to stay out of foul trouble and avoid getting just decimated by fouls.
Hey guys, how about them putting the Fever game at the same time as the Colts? What are your thoughts on that? Not something you got to think these things through.
I mean, who's going to make that choice though? Who's gonna think to make that call? Because
someone who's thinking things through.
Well, no, I agree, but we've proven that the WNBA doesn't think things through on anything, and then the NFL's not going to acquiesce to the WNBA. So
NBA here. Look at the schedule and say,
well, we've already
all of one team's fans will be watching a game at this time.
There's multiple directions you could take that one, though. One, the WNBA doesn't want Fever fans watching the game. They've proven that. And two, the rest of the WNBA is delusional about how much people actually want to watch them. It's just no one's going to make that choice.
As John said, that's probably enough about the Fever today. We will talk more after Tuesday night's game, hopefully a win, and it'll be a little better tone. John, let's talk a little bit about the other games that have been played on Sunday, opening day of the WNBA playoffs. Minnesota, you and I picked the Lynx to win it all, and man, did they look good.
They looked solid today. They looked about how you would expect them to look, and good on Golden State for making the playoffs in their first year of existence, but they are severely outgunned. I don't see that game going past, or a series going past 2 games, and I think you have to think Minnesota is one of the strongest contenders at this point.
First playoff game ever in San Francisco. Who knows?
It was cool to see them. In San Francisco, look, you're right. They've had their attendance has been really good, and the crowd's been really good. The atmosphere's been really good, so they may come out hype and they may get one. But I don't know. I don't know that I see it happening.
I think the Valkyries are one of 3 teams that have given me no reason to hate them. Besides the Fever, of course.
Well, of course, their fan base has a couple of tools in it, but
of course,
I can't hold that against the team.
John.
No, you're right. I'm just saying I can't hold that against the team.
No, exactly. It's San Francisco. It's the capital of pinheads. I'm sorry. I said that.
No, very good. I was waiting for
Oklahoma City's title from it.
I was waiting for Michelle to jump in with something.
I was getting ready to say the Lynx were impressive today. The crowds that the Golden State has put together are impressive. And so I don't know, I think the Lynx will probably sweep them. But at the same time, they're going to have 18,000 there to cheer on the Valkyries the next time they play. So that crowd could play a factor, and maybe Golden State's got a chance to get one at home.
And the rest of America will be cheering against them in spirit. Big win for the Liberty today. Natasha Cloud, my favorite player, not on the Fever. 23 points, 6 rebounds, 4 steals. Big win for the Liberty, but it wasn't all good news, right?
No, Brianna Stewart went down with something on her knee. It looked like knee-to-knee contact, but it looked really bad. She was seen on the sidelines pretty much in tears. It was reminiscent of Caitlin Clark right before the All-Star game. So maybe it's just, PTSD or whatever, but it feels like she's going to be out for a while.
Knee-to-knee contact. If someone goes down with a knee injury, the best case scenario is knee-to-knee contact, which means it might be a deep bruise and something that you can get over pretty quickly. But if it's a shattered kneecap or something like that, it could be really bad.
She looked like she was in a lot of pain. I'm not a doctor, so I don't really want to comment any more than she looked like.
Better probably than twisting a knee.
Hey, I will just say this. I literally fell down bleachers once when I was younger and banged my kneecap and everything, and I did not break it, or I did not break it or dislocate it, but it swelled up and I had a big, deep knee bruise there. And I mean, it was very painful for the first 48 hours, and then it only became really painful if I had to kneel down on, putting pressure on it, direct pressure on the kneecap. So I'm hoping for her sake that that's what it is. It's something that was because that can be very painful as someone who has done that.
And it can feel a lot worse than it actually is, whereas an MCL sprain maybe doesn't feel that bad, but it's in the long term worse. When it comes to knees, you don't want to speculate too much because it could be a 48-hour thing, or it could be long term. So
now,
let's
personally,
hope for
since I picked the Liberty
another
to repeat,
one of the teams. Yeah, another one of the teams I can stand, Michelle.
I know it's a team I picked to repeat. So if everybody stayed healthy on the Liberty, I thought they could repeat.
Exactly
I
what you
won't
said.
back off from it. I hate to see that because, I think first you got the Fever, and then I think you've got the Liberty, two teams that have battled some key injuries. Liberty haven't been as decimated as the Fever, but two teams that you like, they've battled through. They never use their injuries as excuses or anything. And, they went out there and got into the playoffs. And with that, I will wish Breanna Stewart, the best.
I want everything good for New York because if the Fever can't win at all, I would like, as much as I hate to say this about a New York team, I would want to see the Liberty do it. They're my choice for likable team.
Yes, me too. And like I said, I love Natasha Cloud's game. She's a fun player to watch.
I do hope that Stewart's okay. I do think that if Stewart and the Lynx are both out of the playoffs, we have a collective bargaining strike. I think that happens.
I know you said that all along. I think you could be right.
Yeah, but I think the Lynx are gonna win it all. So, the Seattle Las Vegas game hasn't happened, so we don't know what's going to go on there. I think Las Vegas is probably going to win it. I want Phoenix out.
Phoenix, Minnesota, Seattle, and Atlanta. I want to see them lose as much as I want to see the other team win, except for the Fever.
I don't like Phoenix. I definitely just don't like as a team. I don't like anything about them, honestly, and I feel that completely. The rest of them, I don't have super strong feelings about. Like I don't particularly have any bad feelings about Minnesota. I don't, other than I don't like the coach. I don't like the coach.
Heck, for starters,
Atlanta doesn't. Other than they were overly political several years ago, I don't particularly have any feelings about them.
Play?
Yeah, but that whatever. I mean,
I agree with you, Greg. I've never been able to root for Brittany Griner. Sorry, I just can't. Even when it goes back to when she played at Baylor.
And Seattle's the worst of all of them.
Yeah, I would root for Seattle over Las Vegas just because I like Erica Wheeler. I really like Erica Wheeler a lot.
I like Lindsay Holmes a lot. I'm not sure I really like their coach either. So
it's divided, guys, and it's pretty easy to find teams to cheer for and against. And I guess that's a pretty good thing for the WNBA.
Yeah, if they can market it, if they can find a way to market it, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
They made me find a way to hate watch them.
Yeah. Once the playoffs are over, we can have a postseason discussion about the state of the WNBA. I think there's a lot to discuss there.
I think you're right, John. I think we have a lot to talk about later.
Else.
Sure.
John, Michelle, thanks. Want to stick around and talk some baseball? Thanks so much to John and Michelle for joining the podcast and coming on, as always, to talk about the Fever. And thank you for listening. Please go like, subscribe, do all that. Share this podcast with a Fever fan in your life. And come back on Tuesday and listen again. Thank you. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.